What's up, my friend? Welcome back to another video. And today we are taking a look at the Mood Guitars library, or more specifically, boutique Mood Guitars, I should say, from Naroth Audio. So I haven't actually talked about this developer before. I actually wasn't even aware of this company until I think it was late December of last year. So I was just on VI Control. I was browsing around, and then I saw this thread on commercial announcements called Mood Guitars, and I was like, "What is this?" And because I have this interest in kind of lo-fi and just this general chill vibe that I want to incorporate into my next album, I clicked onto that thread, and what I saw and what I heard kind of just blew me away. And I'm literally not just saying that. Like, there are libraries that I'll play around with and I'm like, okay, that's pretty good. But when there are libraries that kind of aim for a very specific niche, it's not just like a guitar library, but it's called Mood Guitar. So that already kind of tells you what it's going for. And you look at the visuals of it, the color palette, it kind of evokes that, dreamy sort of lo-fi sort of vibe. And for me, like, that's the perfect library I'm going for. I have plenty of regular guitar libraries already, but when I saw this, I was like, I need to pick this up. So I reached out to them, and big thanks to David Naroth for sending me a copy of this library to take a look at for you guys. And also, we're going to do a giveaway. So very generously, they're providing a copy to do a giveaway for as well. So let me quickly jump in here, show you this, and at the time of this recording, we actually have a sale going on for Mood Guitars at $57, but regularly it's $95, which I still think it's a pretty great deal because it actually comes with 5 individually sampled guitars in this very specific sort of vibe. So yeah, there's a New Year sale going on, 40% off, okay? 5 multi-sampled modern plus vintage guitars, 11 articulations, custom built smart dynamics, up to 36 high definition samples per guitar, 3 sound design layers, and then a pretty minimal and user-friendly interface. Slightly over 800 megabytes uncompressed, which is less than a gigabyte, very manageable size for your hard drives, and then also built for the free contact player, always a big plus for sure. All right, and then they do a walkthrough of it as well, and you can read the rest on the sales page. But let me just jump in here. So again, contact player, look at how this library kind of stands out in comparison to the rest. These other guitar libraries I have, they kind of have these browns, these blacks, these kind of reds, but you look at Boutique Mood Guitars, it has this very light sort of blue, pink, purple color, which immediately puts me at ease, and I just really, really love the design choice there. And so when you open the structure of this library, you can see all these different patches. And I just love how there's the 5 individually sampled guitars and they have their harmonics variations as well. But it's just a very simple patch structure. Sometimes when I look at a library and it only comes with 1 or 2 patches, let's say, some of these native instruments libraries, that's wonderful, right? Because it's super simple. All you need to do is just drag and load it in, like this one, Fingerpick by Realitone. But sometimes that scares me a little bit as well because I load it in and then I look at the GUI and there's so many different things you can be tweaking, all these knobs and faders and stuff. And so I think this library strikes a perfect balance of having multiple patches where you have a lot of variation, but once you drag in those patches, it's not overly complicated either. So it's not like just one single patch you drag in and then it gives you a world of choice, but it's not like 60,000 patches either where you drag them in and they're super simple as well, right? So I think this strikes a good balance. Anyway, I'm talking a lot. Let me just play this a little bit. Out of the box, this is the acoustic harmonics. Let's just have a quick listen here. Man, like, just out of the box, it's so good. I love this little graphic here that's kind of moving, adds a nice touch, and we got this spinning cassette thing here in the middle too. I think the main thing you'll be fiddling with first is the amount of layers. So yes, you can just get this traditional guitar sound from really any other library, but what kind of sets this one apart is the addition of the pad, the dust, and these tape elements as well. So if we just turn down the guitar signal itself, let's have a listen to maybe just what the pad sounds like. Right, so it's specifically the pad of that guitar. You don't get the attack. That comes through the guitar layer itself. The pad is just landing in that mid-range, low end. Here's the dust. Okay, so not the most desirable sound on its own, but let's have a listen to the tape. Right, so you get the tape noise there as well. So if you want to blend that in to your own taste, then obviously you want to do that. I think the default is around something like this. I'm just looking at this patch just below it. Something like that. The guitar is all the way up. But maybe let's just hear the pad, dust, and tape. Maybe a bit more tape. Bring back the guitar. Yeah, I mean, the tape and the dust layers immediately give you that lo-fi sound if you're looking for that. So you don't have to bring in an external tape plugin or anything like that. What's also really cool is they give you a bunch of these options. So with like panning, right? So this is just the regular, but if we want to make it super stereo, like that, mono in the middle, and then this is the default there. We have a couple of EQ profiles, so regular, normal. Exciting brings more high end, moody brings a bit more low end, back to normal there. And then we have different reverbs. So we have a band, convolution reverb, cathedral, and intimate. And then of course you can adjust the amount of reverb there with the mix dial as well. Much more open. And then bandpass ghost gives you that. Okay, and then the cassette. Yeah, it's super cool how you can affect the sound source itself using this cassette knob there. I probably myself wouldn't touch this overly frequently, but it's a nice option to have. And then delay, of course, in combination with a reverb is always nice. Right, so with this pan delay, you get more of those sparklies in the high end, which is really cool. But if we just leave it to the tape, then you get that subtle, almost echo that comes right after the initial attack. And there we go. But I think the bulk of this patch really comes down to just fiddling with the layers until you're happy with that sound that you're going for, right? So the guitar is going to be doing most of the work. The pad lends that ethereal element that can carry on forever as long as you hold the notes down, and then the dust and the tape, you just blend into taste. Okay, so that's the acoustic harmonics. Let's hear the regular acoustic guitar now, and we're going to expect a very similar vibe, lo-fi sort of feeling. One other thing I actually forgot to mention is I love how the samples are stretched all the way to the bottom, all the way to the top. So there has to be some sound design processing going on there to artificially, translate these samples over. So they probably sampled the regular guitar, from the lowest note to the highest notes, but then they basically took those samples and stretched them out over the whole course of the keyboard. So you can just go beyond the regular guitar. You could treat it as an actual bass as well. If you want to play a super low note, that could be your sub bass, for example. If you want something super high and sparkly, you can do that as well. And that could be a certain pluck or something like that, right? So you're not just limited to the practical ranges of the guitar, which is another really cool feature. So that's why this whole keyboard range at the bottom is all blue, right? All right, so now let's move on to the Fender bass harmonics here. So I'm just going to move a little bit faster because now we, have a basic overview of the patches already. Yeah, that pad is magical. Okay, moving on to the Fender bass picked. Okay, and then the regular Fender bass. One thing I think that could be really cool for this patch in particular is to have a sort of legato, even a scripted legato function that allows you to basically trigger or transition from one note to another without it being polyphonic, because then we could create a real bass line without having to, worry about letting go of the previous note. And then you can also notice here we have several moods. So we have the clean signal, but then you can also choose mood 1. So it's slightly pluckier and more focused on kind of the low mid-range. Here's mood number 2. Yeah, that one has a lot more of the lows and mids kind of scooped out there, and you get sort of that warble there, which is really nice. Most of the time, again, I would probably stick with the clean myself because I just love the original source signal, and I would just fiddle with the layers, but having that option is really, really nice. All that being said, you notice how the GUI itself isn't overly complicated. Like, they were able to fit EQ, they were able to fit panning, envelopes, layers, delay, reverb, cassette, and moods all within the one patch, yet it still looks spacious. And I think that's really good GUI design there. And then I believe, yeah, if you want to stop the graphic from playing around, then you can just click the pause button and it stops. I like it. I'm going to keep it on. And then the question mark shows you who it's created by. So developed by David Naroth and Paul Salerno. There we go. Okay, let's hear the nylon harmonics now. So here we go. All right, then the regular nylon. Yeah, so look, I'm not the biggest fan of nylon clean signals myself, but having this kind of sound design pad in there and having it kind of fill up the space a little bit more feels really like enveloping to me. So I really enjoy that. Okay, now we move on to the Stratocaster. So here are the harmonics. Beautiful. Regular Stratocaster. Okay, then we get the Telecaster harmonics. And then finally, the regular Telecaster. There we go. So hopefully you can get an overview and get an idea of what this library is kind of meant for, the way it's been recorded and processed. Yeah, it's one of those libraries that it's simple and very, very niche, very directed. And as a result, it has a very targeted sort of purpose that is very clearly identifiable when you look at the sales page, when you hear the samples, when you hear the demos. And those are the sorts of libraries that I really appreciate. It's not trying to do everything, but the one thing that it is focused on, it does it well, and that's really what matters. That's the beauty of sample libraries nowadays, is that we have so much choice available to us, but we have to do our due diligence and our due research to make sure that what we're picking up is specifically meant for what we want it to be used for, right? So there are so many options out there, but yeah, hopefully these videos sort of give you an idea of what I like to use, and as well, how you can use them yourself, give you, a couple of ideas. And I definitely think I'll be using this library this year when I work on a new album in some capacity, either as the lead, the main background, whatever it may be. But Naroth Audio has done a great job here, and they've really filled in, I think, a niche that a lot of developers have kind of looked over a little bit. They created some guitars that very specifically aim for that lo-fi sort of sound. So I really appreciate that, and I know it will give me a lot of mileage in the future. So anyway, let's kind of get into the giveaway. Same 3 rules apply. Make sure you fill out the first form or the first link in the description box below. Fill in your details there, and so then you'll be entered into the system, and I'll reach out in a couple of days to announce who the winner is. Step number 2 is to leave a comment under this video letting me know what you would use this library for and why you want this library. I always love to read your thoughts there, and it basically lets me know what you would be using the library for, what practical applications would this library go through for you. And third and finally, just leave a like on the video. It's always helpful, and again, it shows me that you're enjoying the videos, so I appreciate that. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next video. Again, make sure you fill out the form below to enter into the system so I can email you and contact you to let you know if you're the winner. But either way, I'll see you in the next video. Take care and see you soon. Bye-bye.